Good morning. The word of the day I picked up this morning out of nowhere is the phrase, heaven helps those who help themselves. When I heard about that phrase, I couldn't get it, but I felt funny about it. Maybe I did get conceptually, but now I understand and feel the meaning of it. I checked. The origin of this is from the Greeks. So the heavens was the word gods help those who help themselves. So that's Greek God. But I can rephrase it. Heaven is the same as the way of nature, the laws of nature. And whatever the reason is, I think I feel it and I understand, not in the brain but with my whole being, what it may be. Heaven helps those who help themselves. We live our life sincerely and truthfully, not egocentric, not arrogant, sincerely, truthfully. Then we are humble enough to realize it's much more than what we have in our mind that makes us to be alive and all the living beings. It's the nature's way. But if we are confined in our mind, we don't see that. Typically, I believe we have to go through some difficulties to realize that. When we are little and they're young, we may be with the way of nature, but as soon as you learn how to use words and logic and start to use it, then you want to express whatever you can, the best you can, which is nothing wrong probably, because younger people have more creativity and energy level, but in the society you cannot just do that. So the parents, friends, they punish even. You call it the terrible too. I don't know if there's such word in Japanese, but around 2 years old, the little kid start to have a temper tantrum, whatever that word, and get upset and throw things away and cry and scream. I've seen that, my son's growth. What I liked what my ex-wife did was that he would put him into the dog's house, that the expression, so he'll have to stay there. There's no one else to complain, maybe complain to the wall, and eventually he settled down. I don't think they meditate when they are upset, but in effect, it's like going into the hospital. That's Goenka from Vipassana said, that every now and then we should have a time quiet. In Vipassana, it's 10 days of quiet time. If you are too young, you won't have to, and maybe, 30 minutes, 1 hour is good enough. And the screaming kid start to settle down and maybe playing game or something. When we become adult, there may be adult case of the terrible too. And it may happen at earlier age, teenagers or more, exploring the world, what's the limit, push it to the limit, and they usually get punished. Maybe sometimes they succeed, and that may induce them to be more arrogant. Well, I can do it, what's the limit? I was like that, and checking all different angles. But I was a kid who learned or tried to read what the world is, so I read all sorts of books. Maybe I was more internally oriented to see what could be my limit. Whatever the case, let me go back to the point of this phrase. It's alignment. In your mind, you can do whatever. That's what you think, and the ego may be developed. And there's a limit, the confinement of what you can do in the mind. To realize that takes lots of suffering. Some may learn, some may not. But just like a terrible two, we may have to sit 10 days in the mountain because we cannot handle why we suffer. In that 10 days in Vipassana, we may develop a calm and quiet mind, samadhi, to find the source of life, source of wisdom and compassion. So it's like going into that dog's house, you call it, terrible two. My ex-wife put my son into the room for him to figure out on his own. As an adult, we can't do that. Maybe we should do it. So the meditation of just sitting still is the same version of doghouse. And if you can go through that, you come out of that doghouse clear-minded, so that you can focus your energy into the right direction instead of the whim of the wind, little arrogant thought, overconfident, pushing your limit, overburdening. It doesn't help yourself. So you have to help yourself for the heaven to help us. With wisdom, compassion, calm and quiet mind, develop sincere and truthful attitude. So we need to help ourselves to get the help of the heaven. Heaven helps those who help themselves. Thank you.